is my religion not the only one? It might not even be the most interesting one. And so I began to explore these other religious traditions. Um, and at the same time, I'm studying Christianity objectively for the first time and beginning to realize it wasn't what I had been taught that it was, that it had its own problems and its own dark side, and racism and sexism just baked into it from its foundation. And so that sent me into a religious crisis in my 20s, which was a very frightening time, but also a very important time because again, for the first time, I was asking those big questions: Who am I, right? And who am I going to be? And how do I find my way in life? And that kept driving me back to school. Like I needed to be in a classroom where I could ask those questions and wrestle with them alongside other people. And that eventually led me to my career, where I have managed to make a living by doing exactly the same thing. When I go into that classroom and I ask those students to sit with those questions, I'm doing the same thing. I'm still asking those big questions along with them and taking notes on their insights, right? And sharing with them my own. So that's a long answer to a short question.
Oh, I mean, from the moment you were 16 to you getting to 20s to you going through this entire journey of asking questions,
Mhm.
you made me live, imagine, or visualize your life in some way. And
Mhm.
it's pretty powerful. Not many people can do that. And I hate it when people these days call it either content or storytelling or something, because it's just so demeaning.
Mhm.
It's really not that. And everything is really an art and a skill. And to
Mhm.
top it all, if we are sharing our journey, that to our personal life journey, these things are personal, right? Like
Mhm.
if we are not matured enough, or if we don't have the proper understanding, if I talk about my spirituality and spiritual awakening and stuff, people might think I've lost it or something, right? So
Right.
it's not storytelling or something, but the fact that you have been on this journey. And I'll tell you something. I don't know why, but I kind of find this very ironic. What if in some lifetimes back, I was in Egypt or in the West or
Mhm.
somewhere, and
Mhm.
you were here, which is why when you first heard sitar, you were like, okay, this is something I've known. And sitar is the instrument of goddess Saraswati, who is the goddess of learning.
Oh yes. Oh
So
yes.
you were like always somehow associated with teaching and
Mhm.
learning, and the first thing which took you by everything is the sitar. And I think it
Mhm.
was a hint from the goddess of knowledge herself for
That's
you.
that is a great insight. I never thought about that, but it makes perfect sense. Saraswati is just one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for teachers, for education, and or institutions like this, like I don't know if there are other gods, but she's the one that's coming to my mind, and maybe it's my upbringing and thing, but yeah,
Mhm.
she's associated to being the
Oh
god of
yeah.
knowledge.
Absolutely.
Maybe that explains why I have a